Hello everybody, in today's video we're going to be talking about 3 different football coaching sessions that you can deliver to 5 to probably 15-year-olds, big groups or small groups. Now the first topic we're going to work on is passing. So we're going to start off with quite a nice little warm-up. So basically you're going to have a little grid set out. You can do this with cones or flat markers. And in groups of 3, they're going to be just working in, say, these 3 boxes, and they can only pass to an empty box. Okay, so if one of their partners is in there, they can't pass there. So let's say this person had the ball here. They are trying to pass the ball into an empty box, so they might pass the through ball into here for this person to move into, or maybe into this one or this one. Okay, so we're trying to make it short little passes because you're going to have maybe 4 or 5 different groups, and they can all work in the same boxes as another, but as long as these 3 are not in one of those boxes, then they can pass into there. So it's a nice little warm-up, just get them going straight away, it's unopposed. If one of the other teams gets close to your team, it's fine, just ignore each other's balls and you just carry on going. Alright, so it's a really nice little warm-up straight away as the kids arrive. You can work in 3s, 2s, 4s, whatever you want really. So that's a nice little start. And then we're going to go into a game called Through the Middle. So this game Through the Middle is quite a nice little game that you can play. And you can play this with 5 players in each area, but you've got 3 different channels. You've got the middle channel here, and you've got the 2 wider channels. So players in the wider channels, let's say there's 3 versus 3s. You've got 3 in there and 3 in there. So they're working in teams of 3, and this team needs to try and get this ball to the other team without it getting intercepted from these 3. So think about our passing, think about the weight of our pass, the timing of our pass, and also open up your angles, because it might be that once you've got the ball and you've had the ball for a little bit here, then the 3 is set up for it. So you can quickly play the pass down here, you might be able to play the pass to the other team. Alright, so if you get the pass all the way across, then you get a point. But if not, if it gets intercepted, then these 3 would come out, and the 3 that made the mistake would go into the middle. So this can be done, like I say, you have teams of 5, you might decide to set up a whole other area here and play another 3 versus 3 versus 3. So depending on your numbers, don't worry if you've got, if you haven't got a multiple of 3, because this could just be a team of 4. Just players have to deal with it, alright? So 3 versus 3 versus 3 is ideal, but don't stress about that. And then one of the restrictions you want to put in is it can't be overhead height, obviously they'll just chip it over the top. That doesn't work very well. So good punchy passes, you're working on the first control here. As soon as they get the ball, how well are these players able to transition to defend on that side? Can they then get the ball back over quickly, or are they going to be able to defend well? So you can adapt any of these games to, you could make that a defending session and talk all about defenders. But if you're talking about passing, I want your coaching points to really come across in this, quick, fast passes on the floor so they can be controlled really easily. Good timings, trying to find little gaps, can we be clever with our passes, little chips on them, anything to try and get there to be a little bit of creativity from your players. Okay, and then to wrap up your passing session, obviously we love to do matches at the end, so what we're going to play is a game called Through the Thirds. Okay, so the rule is that the ball can't travel from third to third, but it's going to be dribbling it. They have to pass it. Okay, now you can lock players into the zones, or you can say it's a free-flowing game, but still with those restrictions. Because what you're looking for is lots of passes in these matches. You just worked on passing. You're now trying to bring that into your matches. Okay, so you go into your matches. I've put a 7v7 in here, but you could play this whatever you want: 3 versus 4, 2 versus 1, 2 versus 2, anything like that that just gets players moving into space. Okay, so if I'm on the black team and I'm on the black team, goalie passes it out. Can they play it into a black player? Okay, because then not allowed to dribble out. If they can't, then maybe they go back to the goalie, they play out to the other side. But the red team can obviously defend. It's a normal match, it's just you put certain restrictions in there to try and get more passes out of it. So it's a nice way to sort of wrap up that passing session, and gets players thinking, just trying to make them creative, which is what you want in your matches on the weekends as well. So hopefully that gives you lots of ideas about how to deliver a passing session. The next topic we're going to go into is a shooting session. Okay, so when I go into shooting as a football coach, I want to make sure that my session is not full of lines and children waiting to take turns. So I want to make it a fast pace, lots of chances to shoot. So depending on what the sort of numbers that you've got, you might want to set up like 4 or 5 different goals, even if you're just using cones as goals, but just making sure that it's not that standard old school tactic of like 10 kids lining up waiting to pass into the coach sets back. It's just so old school. So what we like to do now is keep things flowing, make it quick. So what I've got here is my orange counters of the balls. I've got the red team, I've got the green team, right? So the green player over here will pass the ball in, and there might be like 2 greens on each side or 3 greens, but not more than 3. If you get more than 3, they're waiting for too long to set up another pitch. So he plays the ball in, this player comes through. First, it might be, you say you have to take a touch, might be first time shot, this delivery might be in the air, it's completely up to you what you want to make of your session. And as they get the ball, they then shoot. Okay? So their job is to then get the ball, go back to this area, and that one, because this player's already passed, they move over there. Whilst that's happening, the Reds, once it's safe to do so, will pass the ball in. He comes forwards as a shot. Okay? So, and then again gets the ball, goes here, and that person goes over there. And we're trying to keep it fast paced, nice and quick, so that children aren't waiting around for too long. Okay? And think about the level that you can go, the level of detail you can go into. So, what's the pass like from these guys? What's the, are they aiming for a certain area in the goal? How many touches are they allowed? How far away from the goal are these players going to be? There's so many different things you can do to mix this up. It might be that once this person passes it in, they then become a defender. So how quick can they get the shot off before the defender comes in? Lots you can do to make this different to what I've explained just there, but it gives you a base idea, nice little warm up. As soon as you get into your session, it's not like you're doing a completely unrelated warm up. You're doing shooting today, so let's go straight into a shooting warm up. Now the next game that we're going to deliver is called wide channels. And with these wide channels, I'll explain it, but it allows play to move quicker up the pitch so that we're playing near the goal, which is what we want in a shooting session. We don't want the ball being popped around the back for a long time. We want to get the ball up so we can finish. Okay, so in this game here, it's 2 versus 2. The orange counter is the ball. Now basically, if anyone's got the ball out in the wide area, they can travel as far as they want up the area, okay, without getting tackled. And they can come and try and block, but what it allows the play to do is, like, rather than being stuck around here, they can just make it out wide, play up forward, and now they can either dribble back in and take the player on, or they can try and play that pass in over here so we can get the shot off. Okay, so what you as a coach need to be able to see lots of opportunities to teach the children how to play football in and around the goal. Right, so if you're setting up an area like this, it works so well. Depends on how you want to work with your players, but it might be you only get 3 seconds in the channel, or you're not allowed to dribble in, you have to pass it on. Maybe this player isn't allowed. Maybe you can say, right, this player can go outside the channel, but this player can't come into the channel. It gives them even more space if you're working with maybe less experienced players. So it's completely up to you what you do with that. But the idea is there, so the play can move up and down the ball. Obviously, the Reds can get the ball as well, and suddenly move all the way out the pitch and dribble in and shoot as well. You work on shooting, get the ball up near the goals. And also, when you're doing this, you don't need your goals really far apart. Try and keep them nice and close so it's not too much play in the middle of the pitch. All right, so hopefully that one goes well for you. Give that a try, and then you go into my matches, which is similar to what I've just sort of spoke about, not having the goals too far. But all you're going to do now, up to you. You might keep the channels in there, but you might also remove the channels out wide. Just get rid of the channels, and then you can bring the goals even like halfway. So you could go literally to like here. So it's just there. So ignore all that bit. That's all dead space now. We're now playing in here. So it's 2 versus 2, and so every time you get the ball, you're in shooting distance, which again is what you're working on with your players. You're working on shooting, so you need to have lots of opportunities to shoot. When you're delivering this sort of game, I'd be on the side with a few spare balls, so as soon as they shoot and they miss, the ball gets played in straight away, and again we're playing, all right? Nice and quick, really reactive play. Focusing, like I said earlier, you can focus on your defending on this as well, but it's a really nice game to get more play more shots, okay, which is what you need in a shooting session. Quite often I watch a shooting session and the kids aren't shooting enough because there's certain restrictions the coaches haven't put in place. So this really helps getting those opportunities to shoot, getting goal scoring opportunities. And yeah, the kids will love it when you play like this. Okay, so time for our final topic now, which is defending. Okay, so in the defending game, little warm up for you, working in threes. Now imagine these are all on the same team, just don't have enough red counters. And the green is the ball. Okay, so the ball is getting passed around. It's just completely unopposed. You can have maybe like 4 or 5 of these groups going on around your pitch. They're just popping the ball around. And then when this player or anybody else passes the ball and says, "I'm pressing," they're going to press and shout, "I'm pressing." They pass the ball up. They're now going to go and press. This player isn't trying to get past. It's just going to hold the ball still. But this player is going to show the coach they can push him close, get into that defending position, and make sure that they can be ready to take that player on if they needed to. Okay, so he's not going to go. He's literally just going to pass the ball in. "I'm pressing." He goes forward, and he's just getting into that defending position. So you go talk about arcing your run, getting low, getting on your back foot. How are you going to delay that ball? You could let this player just dribble forward slowly so that he can practice, jockeying back. But it's very unopposed. So do that for about 2 or 3 seconds, and then the ball gets popped around again. And this player might go, "I'm pressing." He moves forwards, and he's showing us the defending position. If you want to develop that as well, you can do "I'm pressing," and then this player is expected to come in, "I'm supporting." So coming in at the right angle, not getting too close, and just really, like from the first game, it's for your first warm-up, you're straight away talking about defending. You're expecting players to get in quick, get low, get on the back foot, everything that, all the basics of defending, but it's just a nice unopposed way to get players used to it. So our second skill game here is a game called it's just a little 2 versus 3, trying to dribble past the line. So these guys are going to start with the ball over here, and they are going to pass the ball up, and then they're going to come up and defend. This red team are trying to dribble past this line here. So these two, thinking about getting up nice and close, this person to support, delaying, not allowing people to get behind us, being ready to drop back, and if they do win the ball, how quick can they transition to go and score? But this game will work really well in trying to just get these, these 3 are going to try and move forwards quickly, but these 2 are delaying that play, all right? So that's going to be really important. You're teaching them how to delay it, where to put pressure, when not to put pressure. If they make a mistake, can they jump on it? All those sort of little coaching details that you're going to try and get into this game. It's a very good, effective game of working on defending. Okay? So you need to make the pitch thinner to make it easier for these 2. Implement the offside rule. Any other little changes like that to make sure that you're getting the topic is clearly defending. You're able to see lots of defending. So yeah, that'll work really well. And then finally, going into your matches, we're going to play overloaded matches. So from here, all I'd do is I would add a goal and a goal, and you play 2 versus 3. And you're going to see one team's going to have to defend a lot. They have to start getting really tight, making sure they can, when they do get the ball, can they break away quick. But this might be a 7 versus 8 if you're working with senior players or whatever. But if you're working with younger players, add a few more pitches in and lots of overloads, so every player is getting lots of chance to defend. And watch out for these 3 not being attackers the whole session. If you're working on defending, if you want everybody to experience that, just be aware of it, make sure you change it up. So that sort of wraps up my 3 top football coaching sessions. These are my go-to sessions. I use these all the time. I absolutely love them. Hopefully you've taken some benefit from these and that you players enjoy them as well. So if you have enjoyed today's video, please drop us a like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.